Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. I got a nice little short lesson for you today that I think is pretty informative. I was asked the question, where does true happiness come from? I went to the book and guess what I found? Where does true happiness come from? I'm going to give you that lesson right now. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. Know thyself. That's why I'm here every day to give you the things that you need to do just that. Know thyself. If you're a right thinker, that should be your goal to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical. And if you don't have an answer for yourself, that's fine. Tune in to me. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Help you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. That's okay. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to my eye be true. I was asked the question, well, where does true happiness come from? Like my pastor, you give him a scenario, you give him a situation, he go find it in the Bible and break it down for you. I love that. That's the man who know what he's doing. I do the same thing with my book. So this way, today, where does true happiness come from? Let's go see if I can break it down for you. Hope I can get the message across to you where you can know now for yourself where true happiness comes from and go in search of it. Now, in reality, happiness does not and cannot come from objects. That's the first thing. I've been telling you that for a while. That can be what? Acquired or from activities that are performed or from people outside of you. Pin right there for a second. What they're saying is if you think a new house, a new car, a new boyfriend, a girlfriend, new relationship, none of that's going to bring you true happiness. Well, why not? Temporarily, right. It's illusionary. It's all going to pass away. Remember, truth is like anything else. It don't change. True happiness can only come from, you ready? Within. So if you're looking for true happiness anywhere other than within yourself, you're never going to find it. Just like if you're looking for God out in the world somewhere, you're never going to find it. Look inside. That's where everything that you need in the world is. All you got to do is figure it out. Find it for yourself because that's what it's going to take. You have to do it for yourself. My job is to point you in the right direction to get you started. Now, it can only come from within. Even actions that seem to be what? Pleasurable. Okay, at the moment time it was in life, but cannot be considered as what? A source of happiness from a philosophical and analytical point of view. Why? Because all activities are relative. Meaning, for the moment, it won't last. It's not going to bring you lasting happiness. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you. Hope you understand where I'm going with this. Now, the same activity, now, this means what? This means that one activity is pleasurable for that one person and painful for another. If your joy comes at the expense of somebody else, that's never going to be good. And those are people, I got a lesson coming up, those people who play those games to use people for their selfish gains and pleasures. We see it going on all the time. But the goal is for you to wake up and understand and have enough wherewithal and discernment not to fall for those kind of people. Don't be a victim. The same activity, what is desirable to the same person at same times, and not at others. Excuse me, at sometimes, not at others. Depending on what it is, you like or you don't like it. But that's all illusionary. And this means what? This means that such happiness is what? Your happiness is inconsistent. It's not lasting. It's not ongoing. It's head down, it up, down, it down. That is the roller coaster. Okay? That's not a good way to live. And what? Therefore, all those things are illusionary, meaning they're there for the moment. It's not going to last. Also, all forms of physical pleasure, bodily pleasures, are fleeting. Understand that. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, they are. All physical pleasures are fleeting, meaning it's only going to be there for temporary. It's not going to last long. That orgasm that you work so hard for, that all that, and then it's over. Bang, moving on. So that means pleasures only last temporary, and they do not listen. They do not fulfill the mind for long. This leads to what? The realization that it is not the activity itself that holds the happiness, no, but the individual doer who is what? Performing the action and assigning a social value to what? To it. When you're doing things that society deems good, it's okay, even when it's wrong. So therefore, if it was learned, watch this, that going out to a party is supposed to be fun, then that activity will be pursued as what? Some source of happiness. Okay? Here, action is performed in pursuit of what? The fruit, which is the desired result of the action. You go to have fun in the form of what? Happiness. I'm going out to hang out. When I was young, hanging out, partying was fun. It didn't bring me happiness. It brought me joy and pleasure at the moment, but it wasn't happiness. True happiness. Watch this. However, there are several what? Negative psychological factors which arise that will not allow what? True happiness to manifest from physical and illusionary things. And what's that? The first is that the relentless pursuit of the action renders what? The mind restless and agitated. Always wanting, always looking forward, always gotta get there, always rushing. Okay, that's agitated mindset. And watch this. This prevents what? Inner peace. An agitated mind can't be at rest, can't be at ease. It will never experience peace of mind. It's agitated. It's constantly busy. You got to learn to meditate to calm the mind down. From watch this. This prevents inner peace from entering in the mind. Again, the second is that if the desired activity is not possible, now you got a problem. Watch this. And this is for kids. Grown folks should not be experiencing this. This is for children. When the activity you want is not possible, there will be what? Depression and animosity in the mind. If the activity is thwarted by some outside force or by someone, meaning that something or someone prevented you from what? Achieving your objective or having your activity. So you saw it as what? A source of happiness. Now you develop what? Inner anger towards what? That person, even if it's your parent, don't make a difference. And what? Or circumstance, whatever the situation is, you don't understand it because you are upset because you didn't get what you want. That's called being spoiled and selfish. If by chance, what? You succeed in achieving your object of activity, what happens? Yeah, now you become a lady. Yeah, I got it. That lifestyle right there is the craziest way to live. Trust me, we all done it, so you should get better at understanding what not to do and why not to do it. Why? You done learned a few times, you done done it and got burnt by it a few times, you ain't learned the lesson yet? Come on, man. And when you succeed, you become elated and what? Now this will cause what? Now you into the ego. So you got greed, you got craving to what? To develop in the mind, so-called what? You want more. When there's pleasurable things, you want more of it. When it feels good, you want more of it. That's greed. That's the ego at work. And what happened? You will want to experience more and more of the object or the activity. Sex, drugs will make a difference what it is. You're going to want more. That's greed. This makes what? For an agitated and a distracted mind, when you are not able to once again achieve the object or your activity at any particular time, you will become depressed and disappointed or even more frustrated. These are fetters that you cause on yourself. Again, when you want what you want and it don't happen, you go into that depressed mode, that upset. That's the childish kid mentality. That's the set ego mentality. Me, I don't get over it. That's what growing up is all about. But now, under these conditions, watch this. A constant dependence on what? On outside activities and worldly objects will develop in the mind, and you will be dependent on these things. You wake up every day looking for something to happen, looking for something good to come your way, looking for all things that's going to make you happy, when you should be able to do the things that will make you happy. Living right, become a virtuous person, do the right thing, and you'll be blessed, and that will make you happy. That's what true happiness is, if you didn't know. But watch this. Now, which will what? When you got a bad mindset, negative mindset, which will not allow what? For true peace and contentment. You will not be happy if you're upset, frustrated, or disappointed about your life that you causing. Sorry. But even though it is illogical, as my man Spock would say from Star Trek, to pursue what is illogical to pursue, you hear me, activities that cause pain in life. People are what? Constantly acting against their own interests, causing fetters to themselves, and they engage in what? Actions in an effort to what? Find or gain happiness. Futile, wasted time, all the wrong things. While what? While in reality, they are just enhancing the probability of what? Encountering more pain and suffering later on. For every egoistic pleasure, for everything you get that makes you feel good, there's a consequence. There's an equal opposite that comes with that. Called karma. Moving on. Oh, yes. When you get something good that you didn't earn, you didn't put the work in, oh, there's a price you got to pay for that. Like my man told, the judge told my dad when he got caught. You dance in music, you got to pay the piper. If you commit the action, you got to be responsible for the consequences. Understand that, and we teach our young that soon. Why? Early. We try to teach them right from wrong. That's the purpose of knowing right from wrong. Right, good. Wrong, bad. You get blessed for good, you get punished for bad. It's been that way since the beginning and haven't changed. So let's go. I'm almost done. Appreciate you too. Yeah, I see the clock. We good. So therefore, there's an equal measure of what? When they're playing with it, when there's egoistic pleasures, there is a what? An equal measure of pain that must be experienced when? Later. That's the karma. And everybody say karma's a bitch. Why? Because she just gave you what you deserve. And nobody wants their true deserves when they do something wrong. They don't want that. They tell you it's self-defeating when you get caught cheating. Why? Because you got to pay them dues. And some people don't like to pay the dues for their transgressions and the thing that they did that they received pleasure and joy from. But now they got to pay the consequences. I made a whole bunch of money selling drugs and running around. But that 3 years sitting me down changed my whole perspective about doing that nonsense. Haven't done it since. So the idea is the action that you give now, you have to pay for it later. So be careful. And people what? Often act and shortly what? They do things and shortly they do it, regret what they have done. Why? You knew when you did it was wrong, but now that you done done it, men, women, cheating. You know the whole point of cheating. But once y'all had that interaction, once y'all had that climax, and once now guilt steps in, that's what it is. You know you was wrong, and guess what? You got to pay for that too. Trust me. And what? Sometimes people know even at the time of they're doing the action that they are wrong. I knew firsthand what I was doing, selling drugs, was wrong. So there was no problem with my consequences. Why? I knew I was doing, I could either go to jail or either I could get killed. I took my chances. I rolled the dice, okay? I crapped out. I got jail. A lot of my people I hung out with during that time didn't get jail. They lost their lives. So this game that we play is for real, okay? Don't get it twisted. It's real. So understand that. But if you just want pleasures of the flesh, oh, there's something that comes with that. What's this? Now, when you did it and you know it's wrong, and yet they are what? Unable to stop themselves. Right there. Self-discipline. Spiritual discipline takes me out of that whole scenario. Why? If it's wrong, I'm not enacting it. I'm not going down that road. I'm not engaging in something I know is wrong. That's the difference. And this is what? Because when the mind is controlled, what? By its desires, aka ego, and expectations, the intellect, the light of reason will and willpower are what? Clouded and dull. Why? Because the pleasure and what you want takes over. So it pushes them aside and the ego is running the show. Again, one of them, watch this. One is then controlled by what? You ready? The ego, your lower self. I'm so comfortable knowing about the ego. We need to get a grip on the ego. Stop harming about the devil. No, the ego is you doing what you want to do. However, watch this. Now, when the mind is controlled by a what? A purified Haru higher intellect, then what? It is not possible. I just told you because my mind is that way. I just told you it is not possible to be led astray due to what? Fantasies and illusions of the flesh of the mind, which what? Engender irrational thoughts and bad actions because of what? The physical desire that you want. I'm not going to, because lady got good, I'm not going to sacrifice everything I got going for a few moments of pleasure. You got to be crazy. But it was good. Yeah, but look at the consequences. Okay. We look at the action. We don't look at the consequence until what? After the action is done. That's called money quarterbacking. You ain't never won a game doing that. Okay. When the individual is guided by what? Their intellect. This, the conscious. Only right action, again, there we go, we're in my neighborhood, can be performed. I'm not going to do something wrong consciously. I'm not going to willingly do something wrong. That's having spiritual and self-discipline. Holding yourself accountable not to perform a bad act, no matter what negative ideas arise in my mind. No matter what circumstance or situation come, I'm not going to engage. Understand that. Such a person cannot be what? Deluded, deceived into what? Committing negative actions. You can't get me to go that way. Listen, and when we get better at that as men and women, a lot of stuff that we do that we cause won't be happening. Take away some of that drama out of our lives. And when negative actions, which lead to what? Future pain and disappointment and suffering are not performed, and then unhappiness what? Cannot exist. I cannot be unhappy with my life situations if I'm not causing my own fetters that's making me unhappy. That's what they're telling you, explain it to you. And thus, what's this? A person who lives according to the teachings of right thinking philosophy, aka Maya, lives a life of perpetual peace and happiness in what? In the present time. I'm happy with my life. I want to tell everybody, but some people you can't share your goodness with. Why? They ain't on that level. You want to be around people who their life is pretty good too. So you bragging about how good yours is, they won't feel bad or jealous about you. Why? Because theirs is good too. That's why you hang around like-minded people who doing like-minded things. And this implies what? Performing actions without desire or expectation for the future results of that action. I told you, we offer a selfless service. I'm going to do something for you. You ain't got to do nothing for me. Simple. Understand that. I'm not doing it because I can get something from you. That's the devil. Those deal makers, that's the earmark of the devil. If they want something from you, or they promise to do something for you, to get something from you, don't deal with them. Unless it's to your liking something that you think is worthy. Barter system. It should be a fair deal. Fair deal is what you give me is valuable. What I give you is valuable to you. Don't give me garbage and tell me, well, oh, you gave me this, I'm gonna give you garbage. It don't work that way. Fair dealing means both parties should be equally satisfied at the end of the deal. When I was a drug dealer, that's what I meant. When I gave you drugs are good. You pay me for that. We good. Why? You got what you wanted. I got what I wanted. That's fair dealing. To get more than what you deserve, that's robbery. A lot of people doing that. They're less about them. But watch this. But this implies that performing actions without desire of expression for the future results of this action and striving only to do what? Good to humanity in service of what? We go. Maya. God to discover your inner satisfaction. I'm happy. I feel good knowing I helped somebody. That's a good feeling to me. You can keep your money. Okay. When I can help somebody get their life together and do better for themselves, I feel so much better. And that is priceless. That's why I don't do this for the money. Wrapping it up. Again, appreciate you tuning in. This true peace, and this is true peace and inner fulfillment, will never come through, you ready? Pursuit of actions when there is an expectation or a desire for the fruits of this action based on what? Your egoistic notions and your ignorance of your true higher self. You serving yourself. You can serve yourself. You can serve God. When there ain't no devil, you become the devil when you what? You oppose God. Simple as that. Moving on. Now, the belief in objects or worldly activities as sources of happiness, wrong, is therefore seen as a state known as, you ready? Spiritual ignorance, wherein you, the individual, is caught up in the illusions of the world, in the fantasies and the fanciful notions of what most ignorant people minded, who think happiness comes from objects, things, and people. However, happiness and peace can arise spontaneously when there is a what? An attitude of, you ready? Detachment and dispassion toward objects and situations in life. You don't get caught up in emotionally. I don't get too attached to situations. Why? I need to be able to think and function clearly. So when you get those two things going, you can do that. Without those two things going, you're going to get caught up emotionally. You're going to make bad decisions. That's why. And watch this. You object or life situation and attachment to what is what? Good, beautiful, and true. Let me go back over that. However, happiness and peace can arise spontaneously, and that's when it happens when there is what? An attitude, a change of what? Detachment and dispassion toward the objects and situations in life, and your attachment to what is good and beautiful and true. If the right actions are performed with the idea of discovering what? Peace within, based on the understanding of what? The philosophy outlined, right then philosophy, aka Maya philosophy, which you talked about, and for the sake of what? The betterment of society, then these actions will have the effect of what? Purifying what? The heart of what? You, the individual. The negative desires or expectations will dwindle while what? While the inner fulfillment and awareness of fulfillment in the present moment will increase, and there will be what? A greater and greater discovery of what? Peace. Where? Within. A discovery of what is truly stable and changeless. It don't change within and within, as opposed to what? The mind and the outer world, which is constantly what? Changing and always unpredictable. Know thyself, right thinkers. Happiness starts from within, ends within. If you're going to find it, you're going to find it within. You won't find it without. So that's the answer to the question. That's where true happiness lies, within. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, right thinker. In closing, may all right thinker live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I never know the right thinker like you passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'm out.